Yeah. Yesterday, Mark said that the State Department did not share the Russian and Syrian assessment that Aleppo was under Nusra control. So are you saying to the Russians, is the message to the Russians that it's bad to attack Aleppo, even if there are pockets of Nusra there, that they should just not be attacking, Syrians should not be attacking?
No, I think what Mark was restating a simple fact, which I've talked to myself, which is that we know it's a very fluid, dynamic environment, that there is intermingling between the groups. Some of that is by design, because they want to be near one another, and some of it is by happenstance. And it is why strikes in and around Aleppo become a more problematic issue, because it's very difficult to separate some of these groups from one another geographically in order to, and then to be precise enough that only the group that you're trying to go after is going to be hit.
But given the fragility of the ceasefire, would it be the view here that those strikes on Aleppo, even if there is a Nusra element there, should stop because of the civilians and the other rebel groups in place?
So a couple of things here, because I think we need to unpack this. If you are not party to the cessation, and al-Nusra is not, and there's a legitimate opportunity to hit al-Nusra, even if it's in Aleppo, that wouldn't be in opposition to what everybody has signed up to. They are fair targets. What we're seeing, however, is that they aren't being that precise, these strikes against al-Nusra groups. And in fact, in many cases, such as the one I just talked about today, there's blatant disregard for the cessation at all by the regime. I mean, they're deliberately going after opposition groups and civilians and now doctors and first responders. So that's what we want to see stop. And we've also said, with respect to Aleppo, the expansion of Assad regime control inside Syria is not a good thing for the people of Syria writ large. And so, talks about this liberation, if you will, of Aleppo, it's a falsehood.
Just finally, the Secretary mentioned in the New York Times piece last week, he talked about an absolute line, the possibility of trying to draw an absolute line in Aleppo beyond which one side shouldn't fire on the other. Is that something that's being discussed?
I think without getting into any more detail than the Secretary did, I would just tell you that we're going to continue to talk to the Russians about ways to keep the cessation going and to get it into a better better condition and to get it to be more sustainable. So we're looking at ways in which we can do that, but I won't go into any more detail.
Sorry, and Colonel Warren said a couple of days ago when he was talking about Aleppo, he said that Aleppo's primarily in the hands of al-Nusra. Is that a view here?
Well, I think again, Mark talked to this. I mean, our view of Aleppo is that it's a very mixed, very fluid environment. And that the groups are intermingled, and that's our view of it.
John?
Yeah.